is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day, and welcome to episode 14 of Sunday Morning Conversation, where we talk to content creators, large, small, and everywhere in between, about the trading card business, Pokemon card space. If you want to be on a future episode of Sunday Morning Conversation, please email me in the description below or on Instagram. Let's talk to our new friend here. We just met him recently, reached out, brand new to YouTube, only been doing it for a couple months, but he's got some pretty sick videos and some pretty decent stuff coming out. And I'm excited to see where he is coming from, which seems like a new seller, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's welcome Richard from City Throne. Say it for me. I already forgot the name of it.
Well, I forget the name too.
GoldenThrone City Gaming, right? GoldenThrone City Gaming. Yeah.
GoldenThrone City Gaming. That's it.
Boom. I had it pulled up on my screen here so I could read it, and I was like, everyone else has been one word so far. What are we gonna do? But no, yeah, GoldenThrone City Gaming. We'll have all the links and stuff in the description. But before we get to it, if you want to do a little intro about yourself, where you started, and then we can go from there.
All right, cool. Well, I'm Richard, the owner of North of the Golden Throne. Started a channel to document like the business side of what I'm doing with TCGs. My ultimate goal is to own my own LGS, so that's what we're working towards. So I was like, hey, I need to figure out how to sell cards. I haven't played Pokemon since I was a wee little lad. I ended up finding my original Pokemon badge book back in the day. So I was like, oh look,
that's what's up.
I'm not a poser. I was really into this. Actually, I started my LLC a while back because I was a commissioned painter. So most of that stuff back there is hobby stuff. I got really into tabletop gaming. So Warhammer 40K, and then got into Marvel. And got really big into that. And I was like, oh, top 100 in the game. I was one of the best players. So started painting, and then I was like, hey, well, I need all aspects of gaming. So now I'm in the card space trying to learn that out.
Nice. So how long have you actually been selling cards? Has it just been as long as your channel has been around, for about 3 months or so? Or have you been selling cards for a while, or?
No, yeah, like 3 months. I went back and I was like, well, let me go ahead and find my old Pokemon cards. So dug in the attic, dug in the garage, found the old cards. And I was like, well, let me start selling these, and literally started buying cards around, I think, right before Mega Evolution came out.
Okay.
So super recent, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's buy some. Oh god, these cards come out like every other month.
It's a little ridiculous how fast these things come out. Even being in the business and liking making money and stuff, I feel like one of these years they could pump the brakes a little bit and be okay, especially now with how jacked things are with supply and stuff.
Yeah. Like I ran into the beehive and I was like, wow, this is insane. Trying to get cards, trying to keep up. And I was like, I don't know how anyone does this. I think I stopped playing around Neo Genesis. I think that's around the time.
Yes, that's way back. Yeah. So what if a lot of the people I've talked to so far have had somewhat of an established, I know you have an established business, but as far as cards go, an established business, or tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. With you starting 3 months in, what is probably one of the two biggest hurdles outside of finding inventory that you've found that a newer seller who might be watching this might need to keep an eye out for, or kind of keep in mind when trying to dip their toes into the trading card space?
I think the biggest difficulty is, since I've been out of the game so long, just understanding cards at this point. Because I was going to make a video on it. I think I haven't done it yet. My very first sale, I made a mistake. Very first sale, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell this Moltres, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh. I was so happy because I was like, oh, it fits my narrative, it's the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
I was like, my first sale is the Moltres. And then I think I was about to send it off, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is the wrong card. And I was like, look, back in my day, it was hollow, non-hollow, first edition, shadowless, that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, why is this Moltres? It looks the same, it's got the same numbers, but I had it up as a deck exclusive one, which is non-hollow, not the reverse hollow that I had. So I'm like, my very first sale, I'm sorry, I got the wrong card, but I ended up sending it to the guy anyway. And I was like, well, here's for your trouble. Here's a refund. You can have the card anyway. And understanding deck exclusives understanding the difference from Cosmo Hollow and what's the other one?
There's Cosmo. There's like mirror foil. There's like 4 or 5 different kind of specialty foils, and yeah, it's a
I
mess.
feel like there's two that's almost identical, and it was like, well, you have to look for the swirl on one, and then the other
Yeah.
one is just bigger circles. I was like, bro, I still don't know. It's like I got old man eyes now. I got to put on my miniature painting glasses just to try to see the difference of these things. But that's the biggest thing. But it because I'm buying collections and stuff, it gives me the opportunity to see cards I've never seen before, because I mean I've been out of the game for almost 20 years at this point. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is a cool card. How much is this? Oh, it's worth nothing. Well, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a hard time, having a business already where you've, been able to probably go through some of these pains and growing things? Do you have a hard time like not letting go of some of these cards that you see, or is it really easy for you to just kind of just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell? Because I think that, I mean, even me, I still have a hard time looking at some of the cards and like, man, I could really put that in my master set, but I use business funds for it. So I either need to be responsible and buy it for myself or just sell it. Do you have a problem with like keeping things or kind of towing that line, or is it really easy for you to just kind of plow through it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, so my first month, I feel like I exploded onto the scene. I was like, okay, I was doing $1,000 a week. I was like, all right, let's get it. We grinded. And then I picked up a 151 master set, and I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Well, it was missing 2 cards. I bought the last 2 cards, and I was like, okay, this is a master set. This is my first master set. And then I ended up spending, close to $2,000 on a collection. And then I'm like, well, we're just gonna sit on this for a little bit. And it kind of messed up my metrics for the next month, because like none of those cards went online. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm slowly putting them out now. But I'm like, oh, I was like, this is my childhood. I'm a Gen Oneer. This is for me. And I'm like, yeah, this is for the business.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Did you do any grading plays with them? Like, have you gotten into grading at all, when it comes, because 151, I mean, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he's so known him from high school, and he's more of a like investor bro. So he's got like sealed all in his house. He actually need to replace his AC for his house, and this is to refute a lot of people who are like, this isn't investing. This is people playing with cardboard. He was like, oh, I need $10,000 to replace my AC. Well, let me just go sell some sealed. Let me go
Yeah, yeah.
sell some graded, and you're able to turn liquid out of nowhere, so you can do it. But yeah, I've been talking to him about doing some sealed stuff, but with PSA shutting down besides their top tier, it's been on hold for right now. I still think I might go to Beckett and make some content around me doing my first graded card. I have a side duck from, which one is
A what?
at side duck, I think it's oh yeah. Yeah.
Psyduck. Yeah.
I think it's a Ascended Hero Psyduck.
Oh man.
And it's nice. It is nice. I was like, oh, this might be a 10. So I'm gonna go put it out there and see what happens.
For so many years, even after the tag teams, I think the tag team was literally the last time he had any kind of EX. Like, he had never had an EX, he never had a VMAX, never had an illustration, where it was literally that, and then the first one was the Misty Psyduck in Destin Rivals.
I like the
Oh, it's dope
too. Yeah.
But seeing my boys like little feet just kind of, oh man, that thing is so cute. Hey, I'm saying, if you get a Beckett 10, I mean, I know someone who might take that off your hands for a deal. So you mentioned that the goal is to have a store like me. I want to have a store. I was trying to speed run it, I think, as fast as possible. But now that I've been doing this, in my apartment for a while, it may not be like I don't think I have to speed run it necessarily, although it is ultimately a goal, because there's so many things that you can do from your house now. what is your timetable and how fast you're trying to achieve that? And what are your maybe worries, some of your worries and some of your things you're looking forward to? Especially, you know, when the market's booming like this, there's so many people trying to get stores. There's so many people trying to, you know, cash in, for lack of a better word. And it's going to be really hard to distinguish yourself from the crowd. So what are some of the pros and cons that you're kind of weighing when trying to chase down the business? And what are some ways that you are going to try to differentiate yourself, and some ideas that maybe that you could throw out there for other people who might be trying to do the same?
Well, when I look at, I guess the shortcomings people say with starting your own LGS, I'm like, I've kind of already in my head found solutions for it. So it's like, okay, well, you can't just focus on the boom of Pokemon. Yeah, totally get it. You know, you can't just ride Pokemon until it dies. But there's so many other things. Like for me, my background recently has been in tabletop miniatures. So like
Mm.
I'm an expert in it. I've taught dozens of people how to play MCP, Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is my favorite skirmish game. Warhammer is insane. Like it seems to be Warhammer, Magic, and Pokemon are the three legs that keep LGSs up. Most LGSs in my area, I live in Houston. It's huge, and if you got those three games, if one is down, the other two are going to be up. So
Yeah.
I'm already like, I can focus on one of those, and then also to support it, since I've been a miniature painter, I've been doing that on and off. For me, it wasn't like a full-time thing. It was like, oh, on the side, hey, I need money for Christmas. Let me go paint some models. Here's $1,200 to get this done. So I was like, yeah, I can always hustle on that
Wow.
more.
It
Yeah.
has that much of a premium if you know what you're doing for doing
Oh, dude,
miniatures.
like miniature. I know full-time miniature painters. A friend of mine who passed away. He was at when the last time we had spoke about it, he was making $90,000 just painting miniatures. And years later, he had got to the point where he was hiring on people. He had so much money, he was like, "Hey, I will hire you on. You'll make 40 to 50,000, depending on your skill." And he was paying people to come to his city. So
Wow.
yes, there's so much money in miniature painting. And then I follow some people on Instagram. They're like, "Oh yeah, from their Patreon alone, they're pulling in $30,000 $40,000 to teach people how to paint." So if I wanted to, I could just focus on that alone. But
Sure.
my whole goal is I want the community. I want to have people, give a space for people to come to, nerds and stuff like that. I want to, teach kids how to be the future of the nerdum. I want this whole space. So I'm like, hey, I need to venture out and have all of the facets that are going to be that I need to make the business successful. So I was like, yeah, I need to jump back in cars to understand where
Yeah.
they are now, because it's been 20 plus years. And the last time I was competitive, I was trying to get my rock badge from Brock back in yeah. So it's been a while. Well, I guess take that back. I did jump into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh for a while back in high school.
Oof.
And now I found out a Yu-Gi-Oh is turn 0, you've lost already. I'm like, bro, I don't even know if I can handle that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of RNG that I don't think I ever want to deal with. But yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean I mean the amount of stores I've seen where it's just like literally the whole store is Pokemon, the walls are Pokemon, everything's Pokemon, and then it's like uh they just run out of stuff to sell, and then they're like
And what do you do?
freaking out. And then at that point, if you don't have your leg and other, or not your leg, your arm or whatever appendage you want to throw out there, if you don't have your hands in other cookie jars, you're going to have to learn way faster, learn way more on a dime about these things. And then you're going to be so far behind that it's just, you have to spread your wings and do other stuff. I'm trying to think. The only tabletop I ever played, you'll probably know the name of it. I can't remember it, but it was around the time the Hero Clicks first came out. It was like mid 2000s, and it was like, I want to say it was like Mage something, Hero Mage. I just remember there was like this like steampunky thing, and there was like this dude with this big like mace arm figure, and it had like three. It was like a dial that had like attack, defense, and stuff. And I can't, Mage something. I don't know. I was hoping once you say it, because I've been trying to think of it this entire like
It's
2
not
months.
coming to, it's not ringing a bell, because I joined Warhammer community around 2005, probably 2004. So I was deep into miniatures around that time.
Yeah.
I know of Hero Clicks and stuff like that beforehand, but I'm not sure about that one.
Well, when it comes to, tabletops and other games, I think we kind of mentioned it before we started. Some communities can get a little gatekeepy when it comes to like, not even gatekeepy, but like the feeling of like, I don't belong, or I don't deserve to sell this particular game because I don't know anything about it. But I don't know anything about tabletops, but you're right. Every for the most part, store that is successful has almost a dedicated room with a couple different tabletops with some, little diagrams or whatever little models to put on the table. And, every game's got their sweat lords too. I mean, there's some sweaty people playing that you don't want to necessarily play casually with, but there's some really nice people that play the tabletop stuff as well. What do you think how far away do you think is the store? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Like what's your goal to get there?
I'm trying to go tomorrow if I could. I mean, I'm literally trying to go all in on it. I feel I'm in a good position right now to figure it out. I basically took my savings and I've been shopping around at banks already. Like I'm like, hey guys,
Okay.
let's get it done. I'm here for it. So this experiment with cards has been going well, and I'm like, hey, for me, I'm like, hey, I'm getting older. I don't want to be, 70 years old, going, hey, what could have happened? Like, what possibly could happen? I'm just like, hey, I got a couple funds. I reached out to family and friends, like, hey, you want to chip in? I give you a 5% of the company. I give you 10% of the company. Let's figure out what I could do. So, it's as soon as possible. I'm not half-assing anything. I'm whole-assing this.
I use the line sometimes. It's like, because my financial position has gotten a little better as I've been paying off my debt and stuff. And I'm in Walmart greeter mode is what I call it. Like, I don't care what I do. I'm taking every shot I can for the most part. And if that results in me being a Walmart greeter when I'm 80, so be it. But this back half of my life, I'm making sure we take any chance we can. How many chances have you taken that maybe worked out, and how many chances have you taken and like really burned out when it comes to the card side of things since you're so new? Because I think a lot of people get worried about when they start cards, like you said before with the Moltres, not knowing things and being worried about making mistakes could be even more of a detrimental thing than just making the mistake and learning from it. So outside the Moltres, like what are some things that maybe people out there starting off may not think of that they need to just push through if they're really serious about pushing forward with this hobby as a business?
Well, actually, it's content I haven't made yet, but I got burned on like a 3K deal. Like I had a huge commission a huge collection that I bought. And it was supposed to be around $3,000. And after getting everything in and scanned, I'm like, this was not $3,000 worth of collection. And I mean, it hurt, but like, it wasn't enough to stop the business. Like I haven't spent enough to be like, oh well, hang it up. I still had enough money in the bank that was dedicated towards my business to be like, okay, well, we'll figure things out. And it's funny that I've been able to, finesse this deal because he gave me a crap ton of bulk. And as you know, bulk is king. And I'm like, he thought this was useless. And I'm like going through the bulk. I'm like, oh, this is a $5 card. Oh, this is, a $3 card. Oh, this bulk that was useless is making up for what I got burned on. And it was a learning experience for me. And it's funny that what I learned was, oh, people can manipulate the market. Like, just to give the video away for people, I'll just say it. The issue was I bought One Piece. He had Japanese One Piece cards, and I had no knowledge of One Piece whatsoever. Like I refused to watch that anime because I'm a snob and art style really matters to me because I'm an artist. Okay, I like to say growing up, I was in an art class pretty much every year in school. Almost every year. Even in college, I took art history. Just to say like I'm still in art. But One Piece, I was looking at that and I was like, God, I hate this animation. People are like, oh, it gets better. Just wait to episode 400, But I bought Japanese One Piece and
400 or 1400? How
or
many? How
something
many
like
are there?
that.
Yeah, like
It's crazy. It's insane. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait for the style to get better. But so I bought Japanese One Piece. It was my first time having any One Piece cards. And he had even the collector link. And it was like, okay, collector said it was around 3,000. I talked him down to I think like 65% or 75 or 70%, something around
that's
65
not
or
bad.
70%. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I get home and I look at the two big hitters in it. There were two One Piece cards. And you look at the collector graph and it's like, and I'm like, oh, this is what they did. Some people went and manipulated the market. They went on eBay and had like fake sales. So like the two big cards, well, one was supposed to be $500, and really it's like 200.
Yeah,
So $300 right there, just gone. The other card, it was supposed to be 180, and the real market value was like $40, and it was a
yeah.
fraudulent sales that just like made it go up. And then I'm like, so like, what's that?
Good
three
chunk of
hundred and eighty
change.
dollars. Yeah,
Yeah.
just gone, just gone out of my margins. And then I'm looking at some of the other cards. He was like, oh yeah, this is near mint. This ain't near nut, bro. Like this is not near mint. And I was like, I I didn't have time to go through because it was a huge collection. I couldn't go through everything and see it. But I next time I'm gonna sit down more time to actually look over things to make sure, because it's funny. I've got an armored Mewtwo. It's like a Japanese armored Mewtwo. You look at it, looks awesome. I sent it out, sold it for $80 on Tcgplayer, and get an email from the buyer, and he's like, "Oh, this card isn't near mint. It's got damage." And I was like, "I don't remember damage." I was like, "Okay, well, hey, look, I'll drop it down to, uh, I think that's it heavily played. I took out like $30 from it." He was like, "Oh no, I
Sure.
don't want it." And he was like, "Okay, all right." So I'll send you the envelope. I'm not going to argue with you. So I sent him a return one. He brought it back to me, and I look at it, and I don't want to say he did it. Maybe it was actually from the collection, but if you look at it from a certain point, it looks like someone was trying to get it out of the top
Yeah.
loader and like bent it. Because I was like, at the time, I was taking pictures of everything, and I was like looking at it. And I looked at the picture in my phone. I'm like, I can't see it, but I got it back from him. If you tilt it at a certain angle, you can see like it literally looks like a thumbprint of someone trying to pull it out. It's like, well, now I've
Wouldn't
got
surprise
this.
me.
Yeah, now this $80 Armor Mirror 2 is now like $40 damaged. And I'm like, well, I put it on eBay. And I put it on eBay for damage. And now I'm getting messages. People are like, why is this damage? I don't see any damage. Send me more pictures.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then one guy literally said, he's like, is this authentic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why are you selling it so cheap? This must be fake. I'm like, bro, here's the damage.
Dude, eBay, the difference between eBay and Tcgplayer is it's astounding, and it's astounding in a good way. I always hear, from all the people I've followed up until now that, different marketplaces command different prices. But now that I've been taking eBay seriously now for 3 weeks, I felt so guilty about this. And so there's a Pikachu from Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, whichever one where he's like sitting in the forest with like a big bushel of apples.
Yeah.
The reverse hollow at the time was like $12 or $13. Like it just went up a little crazy. So it's like, I had like 20 of them. I listed them all on there and they sold. And then I listed an extra copy, and accidentally the decimal point got moved over to $133, and someone bought it. And I contacted them and I refunded the money up into the $13 mark, but I was like, I still am speechless on what the hell just happened with that. So I wonder, like, do you sell on eBay and Tcgplayer? Like, what are your main selling platforms?
So I started off with a Tcgplayer just to like get my feet wet to figure it out, because
Yeah,
I've only sold like models on eBay. So like I'll paint a model, throw it up on eBay, and just wait for it to sell. But I was like, well, let me start on Tcgplayer. It's all structured. I didn't know about like card upload or anything at the time. So I was like, well, I don't have to take pictures. I can just, put it here. So I did Tcgplayer, got to level 4, and I think I got to level 4 in like, I want to say it was like 2.5 weeks. It was super
yeah,
quick. I got to level 4. Then started doing some good sales. I was like, well, let me dabble with eBay just to see how it is.
It's just crazy. It is crazy how different they are. How have you had more success on eBay versus Tcgplayer? Are you, now that you're on eBay, are you trying to do more there? Like, how are you kind of splitting what you're doing, especially since it sounds like you have a decent amount of capital that you're working with?
So right now I've like set a goal for myself because I was like, okay, well let's focus on getting 7,000 cars listed on Tcgplayer and 5,000 cars listed on eBay, because like I've got all these cars and I'm just like sitting on them right now. It's like let's get it going. Let's just get it going. So that's been a goal, but my sales on eBay haven't been that good. But I also don't have a lot of cars on there. Like I
Sure.
look at other people and they're like, oh yeah, I've got 17,000 cars, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got 1,000. Look at me. So I mean, I'll sell one or two cards here and there. So the goal is to get numbers that's adequate for more people to actually like want to buy from me. Because most of
Sure.
my sales are like, oh, I sold, random Warhammer painted models. So that's not real history for people who want to buy cards. Maybe this is why the one guy was like, is this authentic?
It's possible. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's, what's funny is like a lot of people, and this is, I'm glad you said that about Tcgplayer because I did the same thing. I speed ran that like no other else. I have a friend that owns a game store, and he was like, hey, when I started on Tcgplayer, what I did, and honestly, I would recommend this to anybody who's like just starting, is focus on whatever cards you have, $1 to $5 cards, Tcgplayer low, minus a penny. Make sure your name is at the tippity top because you don't have a sales record. You're probably not going to be trusted. And the only way that you're going to get eyeballs or someone to really take a chance on you is if you're up at that top of the list. And you will get sales so fast, even if you lose a couple pennies or $1. Speed running to level 4 is so important when it comes to Tcgplayer. Since it only took you 2.5 weeks, how beneficial was it for you to get there that fast, and how beneficial was it overall just to get your business growing to the point where you're able to do bigger and better stuff?
Well, I want to give proof of concepts so that, once I start going bank shopping, or if I'm trying to look for someone to invest in me, I can be like, hey, I'm actually doing this. So I'm like, hey, let's just put it out there. My goal at the beginning was every day I want to make sure that I was maxing out how many cars I could put online. Like,
Sure.
I have a kind of an addictive personality. I played World of Warcraft way too long back in the day, and I maxed me in the hell out of everything. So I was like, every day we grind into the maximum amount of cards we can put up there, and I was just putting everything. And I want to say for a lot of things I was going, lowest listed for, but I was putting big things on there as well. I think it must be level 2 or level 3. I put a Gardevoir from the Mega Gardevoir from Mega Evolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one of those that was like $190. I put it up there. I was like, hey, and it actually I think it sold before I got to level 4. Like it sold pretty quickly in my journey. But I was just putting modern stuff that people apparently just wanted. So I was like, okay, let's go. But throw it up there. But Tcgplayer has been good to me. And it was like figuring out a floor is funny because before even doing this, like I was arguing with one of my buddies who's big into Magic, and I was like, I didn't know this was a term for it, but I was like, it doesn't really make sense for me to be selling a card for 4 cents. And he was like, well, bro, if that's the market value, that's what people expect. And I was like, but 4 cents? I was like, you want me to do all this work for 4 cents? I was like, maybe I can just pick a price and be like, hey, this is what cards are.
You buy those cards and then you sell them for a quarter, or you throw them in a lot or something. Like you abuse that. Yeah. No, that's
And after like doing the research, I was like, this is what most people do. But I was like, okay, this is my floor price. Blah blah blah. Put it up there. It's been selling, and so far it's been good. Actually, started to get repeat customers. I was like,
a couple months ago, actually, I was like, I wonder how many, because I just got, I think I'm at up to maybe 13,000, 14,000 total sales. And I was like, I wonder how many repeat customers I have. I know there's a few names, but when I started looking through, and I was like, okay, like it grows fast. And if you do everything the right way, it's really easy to really just kind of get a following and get that trustworthiness. And this hobby, trustworthiness is like almost more important than money. You can get more money, but the minute that trust bridge is broken, ain't no coming back. How have you been able to take your experience from your other business into this business when it comes to building relationships and building trust? Because it's probably the most important thing possible. And it sounds like you do pretty good with the customer service you provided, but I think a lot of people think you can just shove cards in envelopes and then watch money come in. And
in my I'm just gonna put it out there, my past professional experience, because now I'm a full-time card slinger.
Yeah.
I did IT for 16 years or something like that. A lot of that doing help desk. So
Sure.
I told
Okay.
people, I was a therapist over the phone. People are already mad when they call me. So customer service has to be like number one. It's like, hey, I'm working with you to solve your issues. So
Yeah.
customer service is big for me. I'm like, and then also I like to put pride into what I do. I'm like, man, I bought some card from Tcgplayer and I was like, bro, what are y'all doing? It's like you literally just threw it in this crappy envelope and it's like, here you go. Here's your junk.
Yeah. No top loader, just kind of raw dogging it right in there. Yep.
Yes, yeah. And I was like, they printed out the packing slip. It was like on a thermal label. I couldn't read it. I don't think they could read it.
I've never heard that before. That is insane. Wait, the actual packing slip was on a thermal label?
On a thermal label. And it was just
wow.
this tiny little writing. I was like, bro, I guess it's correct. I guess you actually did it, but
yeah, I didn't realize you could. That's pretty amazing.
So I made like a little parody video about how to pack, and I talked about it. I was like, yeah, throw a packing slip in there. No one needs to read it. Screw it. It's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so customer service is important to me. I'll reach out to people like, hey, if I make a mistake, just be honest. Be like, yo, I thought this was near mint. It's not. Do you want a refund? Do you want me to just cancel the order? It doesn't take a lot to make people feel appreciated. One of my highest ratings was from a woman. She said, oh, seller reached out to me immediately and said he had an inventory issue and refunded me my money. I will definitely be buying from him again. And she gave me 5 stars. She gave me 5 stars for not giving her a card.
Yeah.
So I think the bar is kind of low for people to have good customer service on Tcgplayer. So I'm just like, hey, let me put pride in everything I do. I put a business card in everything. I have my shipping shields or top loaders. I try to make my stuff look professional, because I'm like, hey, I want people to feel like they're paying for something and getting something of value.
Yeah. That's one thing I've noticed, especially with my retail job as a technician for so many years. It's like you can make some pretty horrendous errors, but if you have a plan to fix it, it's like 90% of the battle. Not only that, but it's like you can always fix a problem. I would always make them happy first, then address the issue. So it's like, oh, did I screw up your card? Okay, here's the card.
Yeah.
By the way, once you kind of like defuse the situation, you can get information in there. If their guard's up and they're just my card, and whether it's your fault or not, ain't nothing getting in there, and you're just going to be fighting. And if anything, it's like quicksand at that point. The more and more you try to get the point across, the more and more they're going to dig in. The higher and higher the likelihood you're going to get a bad rating. So just within reason. I'm not saying give away $1,000 cards, but sometimes the value in the customer service you provide is going to make up for the money that you would potentially lose in that, because that person could buy from you again and again and again, just like this woman that you mentioned. How about eBay? Have you had any crazy eBay customer service issues? Because eBay's nutty.
I mean, so far I've only have like a couple of dozen sales of cards on eBay, so everything's been normal. Besides the like multiple people reaching out to me about this Auburn Mewtwo. I'm like, bro, I guess I'm just going to keep this Mewtwo because no one can see the damage, and when they do see it, they're like, but it's still too cheap. Do I just need to put it up there something crazy? Hey. But other than that, it's been simple. I mean, eBay is interesting that people want to haggle. But I'm like, yeah, I guess it's a skill to level up, like negotiating. Because a lot of that happens with my models. Like I'll put up a model. I'm like, well, I spent so much time on this, blah blah blah, and then people are like, well, can I buy it for this? So it's like, well, what's more important? the time that I spent on it or the money I need for right now. Because I think I sold one model. It's a kind of a fairly big like centerpiece model for Warhammer. It's like a greater demon. So the kit itself costs at the time, I think it cost me maybe $90. And then I painted it and I had it up for like 350. And I think I ended up selling it for 290 or something like that. And I was like, well, it's been up there for like a year, like just sitting. So I was like, well, this is money that I can use now. Yeah, I'm losing, less than I wanted, but it's going to someone who wants it. It's nothing doing me any good now. So just go sell it.
Sure.
So it's negotiating and figuring out if I can still keep my margins and keep sane. I was like, oh yeah, I enjoy painting it. So part of that, I'm like, hey, I'll chalk it up to
there's value in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lesson I've had to learn is being okay with having a margin in place. Cause with being so heavy into the bulk stuff, there'd be sometimes I would list a card and, if I sold it on eBay, it might sell for like $1 or $2 less than I could have gotten elsewhere, but I ultimately bought it for a penny. So the margin was there and everything's fine. It took me longer than it probably should have to learn that lesson, but it's an important one to learn. So to someone who's new out there, who is thinking, I need to get every ounce of profit out of every single card. How long did it take for you to get there? Even in the beginning when you're doing your figures, and how would you coach someone through like just, hey, you got to get it out of your head that you're going to get every penny out of every dollar?
Well, I mean, I just kind of think back to when I criticize bigger companies. Like I have a saying with my friends. I was like, well, the reason why this company was doing this, they were making money, but they wanted all the money. And I was like, I don't want to be like that. You don't need all the money. like if you're making profit, hey, you're good. You don't need to be making more money every year, blah, blah, blah. Then don't let me get my soapbox about, I'm a capitalist, but unbound capitalism, I feel like it's an issue.
Sure.
You can't grow at an ultimate rate. There needs to be a ceiling, but I'm like, hey, I'm doing good, the customer's good, let's make a deal. And then at times, you can take a loss here and there to build a bridge. I mean, I remember with one of my customers from autos, sometimes I charge just the painting service. I'm like, hey, you want this, let me charge you X amount to paint it. Or if you want the models and the painting service, I'll charge you that amount. So with one customer, there was miscommunication because normally I'll actually do like basically like I'm not blanking right now, almost like a receipt to say like, hey,
okay,
this is the services, this is how much I'm charging you, this is how much, these are the models and all the inventory, all the information. But with this one guy, we were just doing it over text message. So at some point there was a miscommunication. He wasn't paying for the models and the paint job. He was just paying for the paint job. But these are my personal models. So I was like, you know what? I was like, oh, or you're buying the models too. It's like, oh, I didn't know I need to pay for them. Like, it's fine. You can have the models. I mean, we've done business before. Like, I've gotten like $2,000 from you over the last couple months. What's, $30? Like, in a grand scheme of things, this don't matter. And if I can keep you as a customer, I'm still going to be successful. So like, don't sweat, $30 and lose 5,000.
Sure.
So that's kind of my mentality for things. It's like, bro, just suck it up. Okay. You lost a couple dollars, but you'll make it back in the end.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not breaking the bank, you're good.
Yeah, and the great part about that is that it's your business. You get to make the call. And honestly, out of the working for myself and all the perks that come with it, I think that's why I want to do this the most, is because I'm, as someone who's been in doing phone stuff, you've got a boss who's got a boss, and half the time the bosses don't know what the hell they're talking about. I want to just be able to call my shots, do what I want, and boom. And for those who are starting, you're pretty much already doing that. When you reach out to someone on Facebook Messenger or whatever, or you're trying to make a deal and you're having those little sales interactions, you're not having to consult with someone about buying bulk for an extra $5 per thousand. You're making that decision. So as someone who, with your figures, having your own business doing that, and now this, how how much is being your own boss helped you not only in your business but just in your mindset of being able to really just kind of take charge of your business, your life, everything involved, and being able to just take charge in general?
I mean, that's kind of like the ultimate goal for me. I was like, I think I would feel better failing on my own decisions than, oh, I failed because the CEO wasn't listening to me when I was like, this isn't going to work. So I think it's liberating to be like, okay, well, these are my choices. If it doesn't work out, hey, I made the choice. I'll work with it. I mean, I remember back in my job, it was something stupid. It was like they had these experts come in who were like, "Oh, well, we're gonna make things more productive for this clinic, and we're gonna change up." And I was like, I've been working with these people for at that point it was like probably 12 years. It's like the choices they're making aren't going to be productive. We're wasting money. Me and my brother worked at facilities, so he did all the maintenance and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, they're asking to do things that don't work the workflow." But the experts came in, so we spent probably $10,000 redoing an area, and then maybe 3 weeks later, we spent money putting everything back.
Yeah.
And I was like, the
Funny how that
higher ups were
works.
just throwing away money, and they didn't listen to the people who were actually doing the job to be like, hey, it was something stupid. It was like they wanted the because I supported like a clinic. They wanted the health center assistants to not sit down because they want to be more productive. So no more chairs, and they had like
Okay.
wall mounted computers and stuff like that. And I was like, well, for their job, they need a printer, they need a scanner. There's no way to put it on the wall, so now they can't do their job because you want them at a wall. And it's like, oh, well, we didn't think about that. Yeah, you didn't. So how are they going to do their job? So yeah, it's like little stuff like that. I was like, yeah. For me, if I fail, I was like, well, I messed up because I made this choice. I'm not gonna have that mistake again. So it's been liberating to
Yeah.
work for myself. And I mean, that's go. Like I said, if I could snap my fingers and I can walk into my game store on Monday morning, I would do it. But right now, it's working outside of my office. I'm trying to work with banks to make the dream a reality. And I was like, oh well, I've got some savings. I put money away for the business. I was like, let's go hardcore. Let's just figure this out.
On the flip side of that coin, how important is it for you to take criticism? Because I think on the same kind of subject, it's nice to be your own boss, but being your own boss can sometimes be a detriment because you think, it depends on the personality, but you might think that you're the omniscient, you're always right, nothing needs to change. I had my own with that. I was so far into bulk that I was preaching that, and I still do for the most part, especially for newer sellers, about just listing everything. But I got to a point where I was doing it so much that I was ignoring stuff that was really going to be able to make me money, and I was able to make a change, and I was able to now grow from that. How would you tackle that again with explaining it to someone how, even though if you're your own boss, you have to be willing to be humble and take the advice of your employees, someone who you might deal with, or someone in your comments that might have some constructive criticism, because it's not all hate, it's not all attacks. There's a lot of people out there that want to see you succeed. And how do you kind of gauge what is the constructive criticism to take versus the trash that you just leave by the wayside?
I try to take other people's input and mold it over in my head. I'm a huge critic of myself. Like I'm constantly like, okay, what can I do better? What's going on? So when someone says something, I like try to absorb it, but I still try to focus on the ultimate goal of like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Hey, you can give me your comments. This is still probably going to happen, but I'll take your comments on if whatever I do fail. I'll be like, okay, let me look back to what people told me. Let me look back to other experts in the field. And I guess before I do anything, I try to get as much knowledge as possible before you know going ahead and striking the iron wires hard. I'm like, okay, hold on, let's just get this info and then go.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, I do try to input things before it becomes a you did this wrong, I guess is my answer for it.
No, that's valid. I mean, even if the iron, even in the analogy you use, even if the iron cools down, you can always throw it back in the fire and heat that thing.
Yeah,
It
there
might
we
take a
go.
little extra work, but
Yeah.
sometimes there's definitely points where it's advantageous to kind of go for the gold and kind of leave inhibition behind, but also being a little cautious and taking the advice of others around you who have been there before. And you don't have to necessarily do what they did to a T, but like you said, just plug it into your own formula, see what works, see what doesn't. But you can't be afraid of change, especially in a business like this.
Yeah.
Content.
I just
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
You know, good. You
Oh, no, I
finish
was
it.
just saying, like, I tend to hesitate a lot and second guess or quadruple guess myself on things. So at this point, I'm like, look, I've done the studying. Let's just go for it. I like to talk. I like to think back about this was, man, this has been a long time. This is probably 4 years, 6 years at this point. Um, I was doing research because I don't know if you ever seen battle reports before for like miniature games or anything.
I may have a long time ago, but yeah, it's
Okay,
been a
so
minute.
basically in Warhammer, it was a big thing where people would record themselves playing like the game, and I had a channel, and I was like messing around with content with that, and I was like, okay, I figured out an issue, and I was like, oh well, I need to get like lapel mics to make this to make the sound better while recording,
Sure.
and I did all this research. Like, I mean, dude, I sat down, scoured Google, the YouTube to do all this research on like a lapel mic, and I was like, okay, finally found the mic I wanted. Then waited like another year to make the purchase. It was sitting in my Amazon cart, no joke, for probably a year before I finally bought it. Bought the
I've done that
mic,
before. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Bought the mic, and then I was like, this is the perfect mic to do exactly what I want. It's like a medium amount of like money. It's not anything crazy. I think at the time it was like maybe under $300. Before anything above that, it was like you're going to like $1,000 mic or something like that. And I
Sure.
remember I was like, this is exactly what I need. And then I was like, now I'm shy about actually recording things. And I'm like, but I did all this research. And no joke, I was maybe probably a year after that, every influencer and like person online was using the same damn mic that I had done all this research on. And I should have just, went ahead and used it. And now it became like an industry like staple. It's like the Rode Mic 2.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
uses that.
I do.
Nope.
Cha, right there.
Yeah,
There it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. I had that mic years ago. Did all this research. That was the perfect mic to use, and now it's the staple. Everyone uses a Rode Mic 2. And I was
Yeah.
like, I do this with so many other things. I was like, you know what? If I do the research, I know the plan's gonna work. I'm just gonna execute. I'm gonna stop waiting for the right time, because the right time will never happen. If you've done the research, you know about it. I mean, back in my World of
Yeah.
Warcraft days, I'm literally max minning. I'm like one of the best guilds on the server. I would go out and be like, oh, if I can go back to this old content that is like 6 years old, there's this one potion I can get that there's no cooldown with other potions, and it'll give me 3% better stats. No one knows about this, so my DPS is going to be a little bit higher. So yeah, I do all this like research, and I was like, instead of just waiting, just go for it. Just do it.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, man. It's like there's some old like Kobe Bryant and like Michael Jordan quotes where it's like, I fail plenty of times during practice, but I fail all those times to make sure that when it's game time, I don't. And you can only min max. Even in your situation, you can min max only so much until you really just have to lace it up and get out there and figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
What made you finally start to do content? Like, did you start the card business at the same time that you started content? What was the linchpin that really got you to push the record button after a year or two of microphone hunting and camera searching?
I was like, hey, let's just do it. I mean, it only makes sense to like make the content to document what I'm doing right now, and maybe people be interested in seeing, if I'm like, oh well, in 3 years I'm now a millionaire and I have 3 locations and something crazy like that. It'll be interested in people to see like, oh, where it started from my little office, and I'm painting next to my airbrush, and I got my 3D printer over here, and on top of it is some magic bulk. So I was like, might as well just go
Yeah.
for it. And now I've actually challenged myself. This month I'm like, look, we're making a video every day. every day a video needs to come out. You know, if it's a short, all right, that's fine. If it's a long form, that's fine. But every day I
Something.
need to make content. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and
It
it'll grow on its own.
it I've talked about it before. I mean, I made the first 3 years of this channel, I made 3 different intro videos a year apart. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the year I take it serious. This is going to be the year I take it serious. And I just, anyone out there, I mean, not only is it important to just dump when it comes to content, because, your first videos are going to be probably bad.
Yeah,
There's going to be things that you think are going to be way worse than they actually are. And I still remember the first video I had any kind of like a little bit of attention or traction. There really wasn't anybody in there trashing it. And if there was, it's not as bad as you think it is. You can just ignore them and then move on. I mean, there's so many people out there that are just dying for, just good people and good content, that you're doing yourself a disservice for not taking the leap and starting.
yeah, definitely.
So with knowing where you are with the store and where you want to go with that, what is let's say it doesn't happen for a year. What is your plan for the next year minus the store on growing the business? And what would be a suggestion? How would you suggest to others who are in your spot where you're still starting with the card thing on how to progress over the next year as a building block to something greater?
Well, I guess it's just focus on your goals, and like I have capital that I'm literally just sitting on right now. Like I know I could be buying more, because if I buy more, I can sell more. It's trying to figure out that balance. I feel like I started off really good with sales, dipped a little bit and then kind of recovered. Really, it's just trying to find the rhythm of, okay, I can set aside this amount of time um, every day to do it. And I guess it's being consistent. Like every day I need to set aside this amount of time and then really look at the numbers of, okay, now I need to buy more product. Okay, I can push the brakes for a little bit. What actually sells? It's kind of just that you doing it and figuring out what works. Like I remember just the other day I figured out, I was like, oh, I think I found the most liquid card ever. It's like this promo Alakazam. I put it online. I went to go do the laundry. By the time I walked downstairs to my garage, it sold. And I was like, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
And then I went and I ended up having another one from an ETB that I just didn't realize I didn't pull it yet. I put it online. I was like, look, bro, I'm putting up 5% over market. In 10 minutes, it's still sold. I was like, okay, I don't know. I guess this is the most liquid card ever, but it's like knowledge that unless you're doing it, you don't know. And then
Yeah.
understanding how to manipulate things. There might be a card that's sitting there for a month that you want to sell. You might have to be like, hey, this is lowest listed just to get it out of the inventory.
Yep.
And what things are slower than others. It's just, figuring all of that out. And I guess my goal is like figure out what works, what doesn't, and add more to the business so that I can sell more if the store doesn't work for X amount of time. But it's just that balance of things right now.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a hard finding that equilibrium is definitely hard, and especially a lot of people have a job. This is a side thing. When you only have a day or 2 days and maybe some nights to work on it, it gets really hard to not feel overwhelmed on, okay, well, today I got to do this and today I got to do that. But structure is definitely a very important thing. It's something I recently finally just sat down and made a schedule, or at least a shell of the schedule. I have a whiteboard now of like I have video ideas for days. It still isn't fully in effect, but it is definitely important to do that. Not only for content, but just like even when you have your own business, when you have a brick and mortar store, there's gonna be some days where you gotta worry about, what's on the wholesaler site, what are you gonna do here, what are you gonna do there? How have you been able to tackle scheduling with your business, and maybe would you have a suggestion for people out there who may be struggling with trying to prioritize what to sell, what to sort on the limited valuable time that they might have?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something myself. I've been like trying to figure out how I want to tackle what happens during the day. Because there's some days I'm like, oh well, today is just gonna be a day of me just uploading things. I haven't uploaded enough cards, so I'm like gonna go put 1,000 cards up. But I guess it's really figuring out your bandwidth, what you can handle in a day. If you can only put up 100 cards a day, hey, that's what you're gonna do. Make sure you put up 100 cards and prioritizing. Okay, what's most important? We first thing probably is doing orders. We need to do all your orders, get those out because that's how we make the money. Next thing, we need to put up cards on upload cards to the site. That's the next priority. And then we need to start sourcing things. So next up, you need cards to sell. So let's start looking to source. Let's go to Facebook Marketplace. Let's, if you can get bulk from a LGS, do that. If you know people, reach out there. So that's what I've been looking at, and then finding time for content. I've been messing around with content that I can do that doesn't take that long amount of time. So I've been doing shorts. I've started to do these shorts that are kind of business adjacent. It's basically like, it's a cute little quiz thing. It's actually funny that what I
think I saw one. It was like the Pikachu, the value of the Pikachu, or
yeah. Like originally,
I liked it.
Thank you. YouTube made a new feature where you can add quizzes to your videos. And I was like, oh, this might be a cool thing to do. So I was like, let me make this short format where they would do a quiz and it would tell you the answer. And I was like, oh, they didn't add it to shorts. I was like, well, I've already spent like 2 hours workshopping this. Let's just finish the video and do it without the actual quiz. And, people liked it. It was like, oh, no, it got 700 views. Oh, this next one got 1,200 views. Oh, this one got 14. Like, well, I'll just keep doing it. It's something that I can do repeatedly every day, do a couple research and, move some things around, do a quick voiceover. It's a 22-second video. I can pump this out every day if I can't do my long form video like I want to.
Sure.
If I can't get, squeeze in the time to do that. So I'm like, hey, this works, but it still hits my goal of every day I want to do content. And it's cool that short form content is already getting like its own like group of fans. So I've got people who are coming to every video and like, oh, I got the answer right. Oh, I got the answer right. I was like, all right, cool, And then I'm looking at the metrics, and that was trending to the younger side because, I don't think young kids want to see an old man talk about, well, I sold $5 of cards today, and my market value, blah blah blah, and
You're throwing out that term old real loose. I'm 41 and I'm having a strong feeling you're probably around the same age. So let's pump the brakes on old.
You see all this gray now? This gray is getting me, bro. Like,
that's just seasoning, baby. That's all that is.
The other day I took off my shirt and I was like, oh, what's this on my chest? Oh, that's gray. Oh God.
Oh my God. That's awesome. So we're getting pretty close to the end of it. I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you got a long night in front of you, but usually at the end I open it up to you if there were any topics that we didn't discuss, if you wanted to bring up or talk about, or if you had any questions in particular before we let you go.
Well, I remember you talking about you're trying 2 other channels now. What's your strategy on juggling 3 channels?
So I started them. Okay. It's probably been like 3 or 4 months where I keep saying I'm going to, and honestly, the scheduling is the hardest part because one's pretty much going to be gaming. Just like, because I miss gaming. You can't really game a lot when you're doing a business like this. So I figured if at the very least, if I could partition it to where on my days off, I spend an hour to hour and a half, play a particular game, split that up into 2 videos, and just do that daily and just start doing like a let's play channel. I just started losing weight, so that's like its own thing.
Congrats.
Thank you. And that is very low maintenance. It doesn't really require a lot of editing. You just kind of talk. I talk while I walk over a bridge, talk doing this, talk about whatever. But my problem has always been this channel. And when I say a problem, I love this channel, I love this business and stuff, but it's very time consuming. And I'm like you, when I get fixated on something, like if I start sorting cards, next thing I know, it's 9 o'clock at night and I've been sorting for 12 hours. So it's been a challenge for me, and I'm starting to kind of break the chains of like, okay, 8 to 10, we're listing. 10 to 12, we're making a video. 12 to 2, let's hop on Switch. Let's run out a video for a game. 2 to 4, ship, like whatever the category might be. But I'm trying to I don't particularly like my job, so I'm trying to do anything I can on the YouTube side of things to get as much stuff going and create one big ecosphere to slowly work myself back from working. So
I people kind of call me the dreamer because one of my big questions when I meet someone new, I'm like, hey, if money was an issue, what would you do? I normally ask people that because like I want to find out, this might pay the bills, but what really are you interested in? And it's always interesting to me to find like I remember one guy, he's a lawyer, New York area, making big bucks. I'm talking about big boy money. And he's like, really, I want to be in carpentry. I'm like, who would have thought that? Like, if you could do what you want to do, it would be completely different. And I'm like, hey, no one should work a job that they don't like. That's just my opinion. It's like, go do what you want to do. Life is short. Figure out the road on doing it and go for it.
You know what's funny is there is an old, I don't know how old it is, but do you ever watch Gary Vee stuff?
I've seen a couple of things.
Yeah, so I'm not the biggest fan, but I get the message, and it, for the most part, it makes sense. But there's one clip that I don't know why it resonated with me, but I was just like, okay, is this woman is talking to him, and she's like, I hate my job, and this, that, the other, and he's like, well, just quit. And she's like, well, I can't. And he's like, well, sure you can. And then he starts asking all these questions, and it's like, I've thought about it. Like, I'm not really in a position where I can quit my job, but it's like, okay, well, if I did quit today, what else could I do? What's the worst thing that could happen? Ultimately, as long as I can pay my rent and my water, like if I there's rice, there's plenty of rice out there. Yeah. Chicken, you can usually buy one, get one. So like, there's definitely places that you could cut back and make things tighter, but ultimately there is a way to piece it together. It's just whether or not you have the moxie to take a risk like that.
I think we put these invisible chains on ourselves to say like, oh, we can't do it. Yeah, you can. It might suck for a little bit, but life sucks sometimes. You can figure it out. It's you're afraid to make that change that you need to do. So I mean, for myself, I'm like, hey, screw it. Let's just kind of figure it out. I didn't kind of go into detail, but like my past job, it kind of just ended. So they gave me severance, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what I can do. And
hire for the faster, baby. Let's roll.
I was like, hey, let's go for it. This is the perfect time to start the business. That's just I was like, well, instead of doing IT, I'm now a full-time painter. I was like, well, now I own an LGS from my bedroom.
That's what's up. I like hearing that, man. I'm glad we talked, because hearing how you just kind of got, with not because of your own decisions to a most part, you just got forced into these areas that you just kind of carved out a path that worked, and now you're selling cards, about to open a business, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
and
hopefully
here we are. So, dude, I really appreciate you coming on a short notice. I know we haven't talked too long, but it was a pleasure talking to you. Before we leave, if you want to let everyone know one more time where to find you, and I'll make sure we get all the links you need in the description so they can find and buy whatever they want from you.
Okay, well, the channel that I talk about everything in my journey is GoldenThrone City Gym. And my other channel, North of the Golden Throne, if you're more into like Warhammer stuff. I think I started doing some lore on that channel. I've got some old battle reports, stuff like that, if you're into the tabletop things. And my store on eBay, North of the Golden Throne. And I think on Tcgplayer, it's a Notgt, so just abbreviation for North of the Golden Throne. So right now, I tell people it's your online hobby home, but hopefully it's going to be a LGS that you can all come and visit me one day.
I hope so, man. I've never been to Texas, and the day it comes, I better get an invite for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Got you. Come down to Houston. You're going to be like, man, it's hot as hell, but everything's great. The food's good.
Hey, I take that back. I'm not going to go to your place first. The first place I'm going to go to is some sick-ass barbecue place I've never been to, because I know Texas has that barbecue that I'm dying for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it again very much. That was Sunday morning conversation, guys. I very much appreciate you guys hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.